So you clicked on this video for one thing, and that is because you want to know how to get clients on Instagram, and that is exactly what I'm about to show you in this very video, because not only will I be walking you through step by step exactly how you go about getting clients, from prospecting to outreach to the exact DM scripts to follow up and every single small thing in between, but of course I'm going to give you access to the specific examples and scripts that I have used to close copywriting clients in the past. So without any further ado, man, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Okay, so guys, first and foremost, the one big thing that I gotta get out of the way is that your Instagram profile gotta be looking nice, okay? It's gotta be looking polished, because it can literally make or break your outreach. What exactly do you need on your outreach profile to have it at least passable so that you can get some clients? Look, guys, having your Instagram set up is absolutely mandatory, because 99% of the time, your potential clients are at least going to check out your Instagram. I'm not saying they're gonna go through it with a fine-tooth comb and look at every single post that you've ever done, but they are going to at least check it out. So what are some big don'ts when it comes to your own Instagram profile? First and foremost, guys, get the word scales out of your Instagram profile. The reason being is because I have the word scales in my Instagram profile. Everybody follows Tyson 4D, of course, and they put scales in their name. Guys, if you put .scales in your name, you're gonna be looking like one of the real Slim Shady clones, okay, my boy? So just come up with something at least a little bit original. And then next of all, you're not gonna wanna have any unprofessional pictures of you on there. That's pictures of you getting dirty, nasty drunk, or out at some parties, or anything weird like that, okay? You wanna have some professional looking photos. Now, again, you don't have to be some kind of Instagram influencer. All you really need is 9 posts, okay? It helps to have a couple of reels on there where you're actually speaking to the camera, because that proves that you're a real person who's actually talking about what they know. And then you can have some other photos on there that are just high value photos. Pictures of you in a high-rise building, or pictures of you in a suit, or pictures of you next to a really nice car. Now, none of these things have to be necessarily yours. You can even say in the caption, like, you know, this ain't my Lambo that I'm sitting by. But just having that on your profile is going to rise your social proof. The reason being is because, hey man, in today's society, in any society really, perception is reality. And the photos that you put up on your Instagram are going to determine exactly how you are going to be perceived. Now, a couple other notes on your own Instagram profile. You're going to want to have a clear profile picture of what you actually look like, okay? So a clear picture of your face. Next of all, you're going to want to have some highlights of about you, or some of your testimonials or your case studies that you've had before. Again, these things are going to go a long way in actually building your authority. And one last thing that you might want to include is a blue check mark. Okay, so guys, I get it. A blue check mark doesn't actually mean anything in 2023, but the thing is, like I was saying, perception is reality. When you see somebody with a blue check mark in your DMs, even if they only have 50 followers, you're gonna just be more inclined to reply to them because of what a check mark used to mean. So blue check mark, only like 20 bucks a month or something like that, but definitely worth it if you're doing outreach on Instagram. And also, as a side note, you're not going to want to try to DM people from a completely brand new, fresh account, because it's gonna end up in the IG spam folder, which is basically in request tab. So they don't actually get notified when you reach out to them, but it's also hidden into the hidden requests, which are likely spam. So you're gonna be like way in there, and they're never going to notice you. So you want to use an account that's quote unquote warmed up. This basically means an account that's not brand new, okay? So ideally at least a couple months old, and one that you've been using and actually active on. So guys, it should take you no longer than like a week or maybe 2 weeks max to have your Instagram absolutely flawless, okay? Now, while you can outreach and do Instagram outreach without your account being at its final form yet, but just understand that you need to be working on your account so that it looks polished before you start outreaching. So guys, here are the 3 main ways that you can prospect on Instagram. Prospecting meaning, of course, finding potential clients. First and foremost, of course, is hashtags. So let's say I'm looking for real estate gurus or something, or real estate coaches. I'll look up something like real estate investing, or hashtag RE investing, right? These are all popular hashtags of people who are real estate investing coaches. And now once I've found somebody who's actually an ideal prospect, I could go ahead and do 2 things. First of all is look at the suggested tab. This essentially will give you a whole list of other profiles that are in the exact niche and share an audience with the ideal prospect that you've picked out. And then of course, another way is to actually go through that prospect's follower list. You see, a lot of these times with like online coaches or businesses, they're gonna have a lot of followers, right? right? So tens of thousands of followers, but usually they're only going to be following a select few people, 100, 200, or 300 people. Now, if you're following someone like that, chances are that they have a lot of other real estate investors or real estate investing coaches in their following list. So that's where you can get another whole list of other people that you can start outreaching to. Now, also keep in mind that when you're prospecting, you have a limited amount of DMs that you can send on Instagram before Instagram just cuts you off, okay? So don't be sending DMs absolutely willy-nilly. You're gonna wanna be a little bit more targeted. And also one more bonus prospect method is you can actually just scroll through your Instagram feed and then look for ads. So every time an ad pops up, essentially what you're looking at is a business who has a marketing budget who is running ads so that they can get more clients. So you know a couple things here. First and foremost, they're trying to get more clients. Second of all, they have a marketing budget. And third of all, they're trying to scale their business even higher, okay? So with these three things in mind, now you can be assured that those people are for sure looking for somebody like you who could actually bring them in more revenue and more profit. And then next off, of course, now that you have your whole list of prospects, you're going to need to outreach to them. So there's mainly two parts to an outreach. That is the opener and the closing the call section. So we're gonna go over some openers that you can use to actually get these people to reply to you, okay? Because here's a huge thing that people get wrong when it comes to outreach. A lot of the times people send out their very first outreach message, and the goal of this very first outreach message is to just get them on a call. And that is completely wrong, okay? I get outreach to all the time, okay, because I'm on Instagram, I have a business, everybody knows I'm kind of out here doing my thing. And when people do it, a lot of the times they try to get it all over with and try to get me to book with just one message. And this is the opposite of what you want to do, especially on Instagram, okay? Instagram is so great because you can make your outreach conversational, all right? So here is what your first message should do, okay? So your first message, the only purpose of your first message is to get them to reply. The only purpose of your second message is to get them to reply again, and then maybe a couple messages down the line, then you want to start selling the call, and then on the call, you want to start selling your services, okay? This is something that I'm telling you 95% of copywriters and people in general just get wrong, okay? A lot of the times they try to sell their services in the very first message. They say, hey, what's going on? I'm a copywriter. I can do this, and this for you. And that's not at all what you want to do, okay? Remember, sell the reply, then you want to sell the call, okay? And how you sell the call essentially is you want to come at it from a point of curiosity rather than a point of promising. Guys, remember this one rule. 1 ounce of proof weighs the exact same as 1,000 pounds of promise, okay? Nobody cares what you want to promise them or how much revenue you think you can add to their bottom line. The fact of the matter is that you don't know anything about their business yet, but you want to use that to your advantage by saying something like, hey, I had some ideas, but I wasn't actually sure if they were going to work because I only have an outside perspective of your business. Would it be worth your time to hop on a quick 7-minute call? And I'll show you guys a cool trick to actually get on calls on Instagram rather than having to set up a time and saying, okay, well, here's the Zoom link, and then it get in the Zoom call, and then you got to do the password. And it's just all way too many steps, okay, way too complicated. So as I was saying, first and foremost, the openers. The first opener you can do, very, very simple, is to just reply to their story. Now, you can reply to their story with something like an emoji, but you're not going to get an actual reply back from them. Well, you want to reply to their story with a good, well thought out 2 or 3 sentence reply. And of course, the reason why is because the more effort you actually put into your reply, the more likely you are going to get a reply back from them. And of course, the next opener you can do is called the compliment and marinate. Guys, this one's an OG. I've been talking about this one for a long time, but it's very, very great for actually reaching out to these business owners, especially if they don't actually have a story up at that very moment. So essentially, you just make a specific compliment on something that they've done in their recent post history. So you don't want to just say, hey man, I like your content. That's a terrible compliment, right? You want to say, hey man, I saw your reel about real estate investing and how it can go wrong. And I thought it was really cool of you to point out some of the downsides of real estate while promoting it in the end, something like that. And then of course they're going to reply to your compliment, but the real secret sauce is letting it marinate, okay? The reason why is because you don't want to compliment someone and then just try to sell them right out the gate, okay? That just looks, it looks gross. It basically is like someone coming up to you saying that they like your shirt. Your shirt's fly, bro. I really like it. I really like the little design you got on there. And you're like, thanks, bro. You're feeling yourself. And then he's like, by the way, you want to buy my cell phone plan? Now you're not only annoyed that he came up and trying to sell you, but you're also annoyed because he tried to compliment you and it was a completely fake compliment just because he wanted something from you. So you're going to want a compliment, leave it alone for 2 or 3 days, and then come back and go into the next section of your outreach. And now the third opener that you can do on Instagram is to simply ask an open-ended yes or no question about their product. The reason being is because when you ask a simple yes or no question about their product, first of all, it's very, very easy for them to reply. And then second of all, they're going to want to reply to you because they're going to assume that you're interested in purchasing their product. And now guys, the reason why having people reply to you is so crucial on Instagram is because, like I said, you're going to be ending up in their request tab. But once they reply to you, at least just one time, now you'll be in their primary tab. And when you're in their primary tab, now when you message them, they'll actually get a notification. And this is huge, okay? Because otherwise, you'd just be messaging them all day, ending up in the request tab. They wouldn't even know that you messaged them because they're not getting a notification. And now, of course, that you've actually gotten them to reply to you, there are a couple more ways that we can actually close them on a sales call. First of all, we can just send them text messages, right? This is the easiest way to do it. And this is the most common way that people are going to do it. Why? Because sending text messages is easy. The other way that we can do it that is a lot more personalized is we can send them a voice message, right? And then the way that we can do that's extremely personalized is we can actually go ahead and send them a video. Now, the thing with the voice message is that it's kind of a happy medium between getting on camera, getting on video, and just texting it. But the thing you have to remember with voice messages is you don't want to make it sound too scripted, right? So if you read it out and you're like too fluent with it, people are going to be like, why are you reading off of a script? It's not going to feel genuine. It's not going to feel personal, okay? So what you're going to want to do is add a little bit of ums, a little bit of ahs, but just make it sound genuine and send them a message with just your voice. Or you could do the exact same thing, but a little bit more effective is to actually just use your phone to record yourself and record that whole message with a video. Tyson, what do I actually say in this video? Well, there are two main ways you can go about it. First of all is the problem solution method, okay? So problem solution is a huge thing, especially in things like copywriting, right? We talk about the PAS template, the PAS structure, but essentially problem solution is where you just point out a problem or point out somewhere where they're leaving money on the table and they could improve with their marketing. Now, of course, just like I said before, 1 ounce of proof weighs the same as 1,000 pounds of promise. So how are you going to want to add proof into it? Well, you can use other people's authorities, you can use facts, figures, and statistics, and you can also use your past experience. So for example, if you're trying to tell somebody how they need to fix their email marketing for whatever reason, right? You could say, well, look, Tai Lopez has his email marketing set up like this. You have your email marketing set up like that. So if you did like the Tai Lopez method over here, you might be able to make more money. Now, they're not trying to trust you, but you're getting them to trust somebody who they probably already trust because they know Tai Lopez. They've known him for years. They see him everywhere. They know that he's making tens of millions of dollars a year. And then as the solution part is kind of like I said, right? You give them a little bit of advice, but of course you come at it from a place of curiosity. But I don't really know if that would work for your business. I would have to speak to you a little bit more. Would you be open to hopping on a quick call? And of course, notice how I said that. Would you be open to it? A lot of the people are really sloppy when it comes to their language when they're asking to get on a call. They say things like, hey man, I'd love to get on a call with you. The problem with this is that we all know that you would love to get on a call with them and sell them your services, okay? It's not a question of whether you will love it or not. And again, people are only self-interested. So when you say, hey man, I would love to whatever, they're like, okay, you would love to, but it's like, what's in it for me? So instead of saying something like that, you could say something like, would you be open to hopping on a call? Because this way, the barrier to entry is much, much lower. Because a lot of the times people also ask, would you be interested? And maybe they're not interested in it, but they are open to it. Very, very small difference in wording, but it actually makes a huge difference on your actual close rates. Another thing that you can say is, would you be against hopping on a call with me? This way, you're actually making their no mean yes. Okay, so if they say no, I wouldn't be against it, then you're doing two things, right? So maybe they don't want to hop on a call with you, they're not interested on it, but they're not necessarily against it. So yeah, sure, why not? And also when you make their no mean yes, essentially you're giving them power, okay? Because people feel more powerful when they say no to things. So if they say no, but it means yes. That's also a way that you can get a higher close rate. And that was the problem solution, but there's also another method that I like to call the mini VSL. Now, the mini VSL is essentially just what it sounds like. It's the mini video sales letter, okay? And with this method, you're going a little bit less on a personalized approach to them, talking about, hey, so I noticed you're marketing and this, that, or the other thing, and you're taking a video and kind of just explaining what you do and how it could help them. So the mini VSL method is kind of where you're talking about yourself just a little bit more, but it can also be more effective this way because it actually takes less conversation. And a lot of the times with these clients, they're not really looking to just have a regular conversation, everyday chat with some randoms in their DMs. So if you want to get more straight into the point, the mini VSL method might be for you. Well, what does a mini VSL actually look like? Essentially, you're going to just contact them, tell them a little bit about what you do, how you help businesses, position yourself as the expert, and ask if they want to talk about it a little bit more. And now another great part about the mini VSL method is that it can be personalized or it can be non-personalized, meaning you can make a new video for every single person, or you can only make one video, okay? And you can just personalize that video after the fact. How I did this was I essentially would record one video and then I would type that person's name over top of the video. So then that way, when they open their DMs, they see a video with their name actually on the screen. And then when I'm speaking, I'm actually using name neutral language. So I'm not actually saying their name, but their name is written on screen. So it makes it feel more personalized to them. Another way you could do it is just personalize it to every single person. So you could say, hey, John, I saw your company. I saw that you're running this. I'm a digital marketer. I do X, Y, Z, and this is exactly how it works. Now, if you guys want to see exactly how I do this and some real examples of me actually closing clients with these methods, I do, of course, recommend going down in the description and downloading the free copy starter pack where you can get all my outreach methods, all of my scripts, all of my actual examples, and so much more when it comes to outreach and copywriting templates and everything you can really imagine. So now that you got their attention with an opener and then you actually outreach to them with one of the methods that I showed you, the next is going to be placing your CTA, okay? So now you want to actually hop on a call with them or move the conversation along to get closer to actually getting them to pay you. So the next thing you can do is either send them a Calendly link where they're gonna have to click on the link and go to a website and see all the available time slots. They may or may not have time slots that line up with yours, and it's just a whole big thing. Or you could literally just ask them, hey, you wanna hop on a very quick 7-minute call right now? And believe it or not, a ton of clients would be more than willing to just call you real quick on Instagram. They don't have to go anywhere. They don't have to go to some website. They don't have to go on Zoom. They don't have to go even on their computer. They can just open up the app on their phone and call you right then and there. And this is especially useful because the barrier to entry and the way that they have to commit is just so low. They don't have to commit to scheduling the time and getting on some 30-minute, 1-hour call. It's really quick, really simple. And if they don't like you, they can just press hang up and be done with it. It's done with it, right? And they don't have to actually sacrifice any time in the day, because remember, these are business owners. Business owners are the ones making all the money out here. They got all the money, but they don't got that much time because they're busy in their business. So they value time a lot more than money. So optimizing for that, we can just call them on Instagram. So now you know everything about how to get clients on Instagram, right? Wrong. Everything that I just said is completely useless unless you integrate a good follow-up strategy into your outreach. Because I'll put it like this, 90% of the clients that are gonna pay you the big bucks, they require some sort of follow-up. Guys, don't be naive and think that you're not going to have to ever follow up with these people, because I mean, they most likely get outreach to not only for copywriters, but for content creators or editors or thumbnail editors. There's everybody, like so many different people that get hit up on a daily basis. So you're gonna have to come different, all right? So follow-up does a couple of things. First of all, you can come from a different angle every time. So let's say you sent them a message and they didn't really vibe with it for whatever reason. Well, now you're going to come from a different angle and maybe they'll vibe with the message that you sent the second time or the third time or the fourth time. Next of all, they could have actually seen your message, but then they got sidetracked with something else. So then they went away and ignored you. Another thing that it actually does is essentially it shows how hardworking you are. Okay, so if you've outreached to this person, followed up with them for months, even if they don't need the services or products that you're trying to give them, what they always need and what all businesses need are hard workers, people who are persistent and consistent. And you're showing and proving that that's you by following up with them regularly. But how, Tyson? How am I actually going to follow up with these business owners? Well, I'll tell you exactly how right now. So the first follow-up you're going to want to do, let's say you message them, they message you back, and then you message them and then they just leave you on red or they don't message you. The first one you could send is just called a bump, which is where you just send either a question mark or, hey, did you see my last message? You basically just say one thing, so it bumps you back to the top of their DM. But of course, that doesn't always work. So another way that you can follow up with them is simply just by using a completely different outreach method. I mean, I have tons of outreach methods on my channel. I have whole 1-hour courses. I have whole other just quick 10-minute, 20-minute tutorials on outreaching with Loom, outreaching with Instagram, outreaching with literally everything you could ever imagine, okay? So all you could really do is just come at an outreach from just a different angle each and every time. Another hugely effective outreach is the final message. So here's the deal. People always want what they can't have, and they want to chase things that are running away from them. So if you simply send them the message of, hey, I messaged you a couple weeks ago, looks like you either didn't see it or weren't interested, and of course I don't want to annoy you. So with all that being said, this is going to be my final message. If you want to talk about it more and talk about how it can help you make more money, just send a quick reply. If not, and you're just silent, I'll just take that as that you just didn't want to talk, and I'll go away now. Right? So when you say something like this, they're gonna be like, oh, damn. So this is the final message? Well, I guess I'll reply this time because I'm not gonna get another chance. Believe it or not, super effective. And the next follow-up is another one that is really quite effective. And this is one I've been talking about for quite a long time. I've coined it as the copy comedian, but essentially it's kind of just like a meme follow-up. Now, this is something that so many businesses and so many online entrepreneurs use, but it's so effective because you're coming at it from a different angle. You're being personal and you're being witty. Essentially, you just send them kind of like a silly meme. And the meme has something to do with you being left on red or them forgetting to talk to you or something of that nature, right? A meme that is actually in context. Now, of course, these are really easy to make. You don't have to go on Photoshop or anything. You can just go on Meme Generator. But this is exactly how my my video editor actually got on with me. He sent me a meme follow-up. Say hi, Aaron.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, it's true. I used Tyson's own method against him. Although I did try bumping it up first, but that did not really work.
And the next follow-up that I want to give you guys is called the name drop / case study follow-up. Now, this is a great one for if you already have some experience with your copywriting, but essentially you just say, hey, first name, I've been working with, and then you could name drop somebody that you've been working with. Okay, so this works really well if you've been working with some high-level entrepreneurs. Because hey, I've been working with such and such, and I actually recently got them this result, right? So I've been making them an extra $40,000 a month with their email marketing. And I wanted to know if that's something that you'd be open to looking into. And of course, they would be crazy to say no. And this is one that gets a ton of replies, especially as you start building your leverage and building your clout as a copywriter. And last but certainly not least is the circle back. Okay, so if you've been outreaching to people and following up over a couple of months, now it's time to leave that person alone, but not forever, because if they've ever replied to you whatsoever, that tells you two things. First of all, you're in their primary tab, and second of all, they actually do check their DM. So maybe they're not interested in what you have to offer right now, but in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, the situation might change. Let's say they say something like, hey, well, sorry, bro, I already have a copywriter. That's a W, because all that means is you just have to follow up with them until the rest of time, and eventually you're going to catch them when they don't have a copywriter and they're in dire need of one. And of course, if you come to them, they won't have to look for other people, and boom, you're in the right place at the right time, and now you have a copywriting client. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Now you guys know how to get clients with Instagram. Click on one of the free courses on screen. Now, of course, don't forget to go down and download the free copy starter kit and also join the 4D Discord server. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.